seaside. And in passing, let's agree that things in this country are certainly not in such bad shape. You find them playing bridge at afternoon parties. You find some of them at home working. And of course, you find them shopping.
Yeah, if you ask me, I'd say them's is dumb.
And I simply cannot get along with them.
Oh, but I can't get along without them.
Be that as it may, the fact remains that some of them, at one time or another, are prospects. Prospects for products you and I sell. For example, the walker. Regular folks, the kind you meet every day.
I'm kind of tired. I think I'll go on out up to bed.
Oh, say, will you empty the pan under the icebox before you go up?
Huh? Why, I just emptied that pan last night.
I know, but it fills up quickly this hot weather.
All right. You go on up. I'll be along in a minute.
Oh, no, you don't. The last time I left you down here, you forgot the pan spilled over. I don't know why you always object to doing odd jobs around the house. You know that pan's too heavy for me. Go on now.
I do it. Don't push. Maybe we ought to get rid of that old crate. More bother than it's worth.
I've just been waiting for you to say something like that. We're the only family on this street without an electric refrigerator. I have a good mind to go down and look at some tomorrow. Maybe there's some advertised in tonight's paper.
Will I ever learn to keep my mouth shut?
And while Mrs. Walker looks at the paper, suppose we skip ahead to another visit. It's the next afternoon. We're in the home of Mrs. Darrow. Unless I miss my guess, she's a little peeved about something.
Hello, Mrs. Gibson. I'm so mad I could scream. My refrigerator broke down again. The maid's day out, and I have to wait till that service man gets here.
Oh, isn't that a shame? What about your talk?
I was wondering, could you make it the last thing on the program? I found some very interesting material that I'm sure the girls would be anxious to hear about.
Oh, I just know they would, my dear. But you see, some of them have to leave a little early. Maybe we could schedule your talk for the next meeting.
Well, all right. But I'll call you back immediately if the service man gets here.
Oh, do that, my dear.
Goodbye. My talk for the next meeting. Just wait till I get my hands on that service man. I have half a notion to look for a new refrigerator.
Well, that's interesting. And now suppose we take a look at the new house the young Kendalls are moving into. Ah, there are the Kendalls now, planning where to put the cupboards, what color curtains to have in the kitchen, and a host of other things.
One thing I know we're going to have in this kitchen, Bob, is an electric range. Why, ever since I've been using one in the apartment, I wouldn't have anything else.
It's okay with me if you keep on turning out the same kind of meal. Say, I forgot to tell you. I told the furniture man to go ahead and deliver that new bedroom set.
Oh, you darling!
Well, this is no place for us now. We'll sneak out quietly and pay Mrs. Wright a visit. Here she is with a neighbor who dropped in to get a recipe.
Certainly feels good to sit down for a minute or two. This kitchen can get dirty faster than anything I ever saw.
You know, a friend of mine told me her kitchen stays much cleaner since she got an electric range.
Maybe so, but I wonder how they cook. There goes that phone again. Excuse me a minute, will you?
Well, with Mrs. Wright curious about how electric range is cooked, it looks like she might also be a prospect. And here is the salesman with whom these prospects will talk. Say, you over there with the pipe.
Oh, me?
Yes, we've just been doing a little peeking in keyholes, and we know of 4 prospects you're going to meet within the next few days.
Good. I've got some real hot specials on the floor to show them.
Say, Jack, I've been cleaning out the desk and found these snapshots to the beach. Look. Big boy, you're no prize in a bathing suit.
Oh, is that so? Why one of you would never make a magazine cover if I remember rightly. Where is it?
I threw it away.
You would.
Jack, I've been thinking, we ought to have a camera so we can take pictures of Junior as he grows up.
That'd be a good idea. Where's the rest of those pictures? Will you excuse me while I look at these? You tell those prospects I'll be ready for them when they come in. Hey, that's a good one. Maybe it would be fun to have a camera. We'll stop in and look at some when you're in town tomorrow. We'd like to look at the camera.
Fine, I have just the camera for you. Here it is, a real value. Has a coupled rangefinder, delayed action contour shutter, and a color-corrected anastigmatic lens.
Well, what was that again?
I said it has a coupled rangefinder, delayed action contour shutter, and a color-corrected anastigmatic lens.
We're just looking around.
That's okay, come in anytime, only don't wait too long. This is the last one I have at this price.
Thanks. If that guy's a salesman, I'll eat your hat on the corner of 3rd and Main.
I noticed another store up the street. Let's look there.
All right. We'd like to look at the camera.
Fine. What kind of a camera are you using now?
We don't have any.
Oh, I see. Well, tell me, do you have any special kind of pictures in mind that you'd like to take home?
Yes, we'd like a camera that would take some pictures of our child.
And you probably want a camera that takes action pictures. They're more lifelike than pose pictures.
Yeah, I guess that's a good idea.
Now, here's a camera that ought to meet your requirements. And here's some child pictures that have been taken with a camera just like this.
Oh, how sweet.
Oh, these are great.
Of course, you can use that camera for taking other kinds of pictures. Let me show you some.
Well, that's Mabel.
What was that? Do you know that girl?
No, I just started to say we ought to be able to get some good pictures with this camera.
Let me show you how easy it is to put the film in this camera.
Yes, I'm interested in that. Gee, these are swell, aren't they?
Oh, I think this one is nicer.
So you got some good pictures with your new camera, eh?
Great. Would you like to look at them?
Later, perhaps. Right now, we'd like to know if those prospects we mentioned the other night have been in.
Well, not yet, but like I said, I'm ready for them. Got some hot specials on the floor.
I see. You're going to try to sell those prospects the same way the clerk in the first camera store tried to sell you. Remember, he had a special value.
Huh. That guy was a dilly. But you know, that salesman in the second store was all right.
Yeah, he must have been. He sold you, didn't he?
Right, he did. But it was only because he showed me the kind of camera I wanted to buy and told me the things I wanted to know.
Sure, but how did he know what kind of camera you wanted to buy? And what things to tell you?
Well, come to think about it, he did ask me some questions.
Would you say he sort of classified you?
Classified me. Classified? Oh, I know what you're driving at. Say, Jane, when you cleaned out the desk the other night, did you run across an old notebook of mine?
I think so. Is this it?
Yeah, that's the one. Let's see now. Here it is. The 5-step plan of selling, called Prospect Set the Pace. See, the first step is classify the prospect. Do you mean that's like letting a prospect tell you what she wants to buy?
Yes, that's just about it, Jack. You see, products are the same, but prospects are different. They buy for different reasons. It all boils down to this, Jack. You sell people, not merchandise.
Well, I always did think this was a good plan, but was a little uncertain as to how to use it.
Well, let's check back and see how that camera salesman used it.
We'd like to look at the camera.
Fine. What kind of a camera are you using now?
It sounded to me like his first move was to find out what kind of camera you were using.
Well, that makes sense. Once he knew that, he'd know whether to sell me first on the idea of owning a camera, or go ahead and sell me on his own particular kind of camera.
But he didn't stop there, remember?
Well, tell me, do you have any special kind of pictures in mind that you'd like to take home?
It seems to me he got you to name a specific interest. And that gave him the key to the second step of the selling plan, making the sales presentation according to the prospect's interest.
Hey, wait a minute. I want to get this down while it's still fresh in my mind. How would this sound? Ask what product the prospect is using now and find a specific interest.
That's good, Jack. Even I understand that.
Well, it must be good then. So I suppose you understand how the camera salesman made his sales presentation according to our interest?
Well, I remember he started to explain how that camera would take good pictures of children.
I guess she's right. That's what the camera salesman did.
How would you put that down?
Well, let's see. How about this? Explain the product in terms of the prospect's interest.
Sounds good to me.
How can I make sure as I go along that I'm making a sales presentation according to the prospect's interest? Is there some way of checking up?
That camera salesman kept on asking questions. Is that what you mean?
You hit the nail right on the head, Jane. That's exactly what I mean. The salesman kept asking questions and listened to what I answered.
Would you say he reclassified you as he went along?
Reclassify as you go. That's good, but I'm going to add to it. Ask leading questions and listen.
Okay, Jack. Why don't you try these ideas on those prospects who are coming in?
Why not? They worked on me. Bring on your prospects.